Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Water covers 71% of the earth, but only a tiny fraction is clean enough for human use. Today, more than 2 billion people lack access to safe drinking water, a staggering number that represents a silent, global crisis. From the mightiest rivers to the deepest oceans, pollution is spreading. Quietly, but with deadly consequences. This is the story of how we are poisoning the very resource that gives us life, turning our vibrant blue planet into a shadow of its former self. We see beautiful waterfalls, but then we are confronted with the harsh reality of polluted rivers and the heart-wrenching sight of children carrying buckets of dirty water. This isn't just an environmental issue. It's a human crisis. The slow, dramatic zoom on a dead fish floating in the murky water serves as a stark reminder of the toll pollution takes. So, what exactly is water pollution? It occurs when harmful substances ranging from industrial chemicals and plastics to biological waste enter water bodies, like rivers, lakes, and oceans. This contamination renders the water toxic to humans, wildlife, and the delicate balance of nature itself. Imagine brown, foamy water in what was once a clear river, or the deceptive rainbow colors of oil slicks shimmering on the surface. These are not just ugly sights. They are symptoms of a dying ecosystem. When water loses its purity, every single living organism connected to it suffers, from the smallest microbe to the largest whale. The sources of this pollution are vast and varied, but they all trace back to human activity. One of the biggest culprits is industrial contamination. For a stark example, look no further than the Citarum River in Indonesia, often called the world's most polluted river. Along its banks, hundreds of factories dump untreated waste, including dyes, plastics, and toxic heavy metals like mercury, arsenic, and lead, directly into the water. These industrial zones often treat rivers as convenient dumping grounds, and the toxins they release don't just disappear. They stay in the water for decades, poisoning the entire food chain and the communities that depend on the river. Following closely behind is domestic waste and the ever-growing problem of plastic pollution. The Bariganga River in Bangladesh is a tragic case study. Millions of people depend on it for their daily lives, yet raw sewage from surrounding communities flows into it every single day. The visuals are shocking. Mountains of trash, mostly plastic, floating downstream, choking the river's flow. It's a global issue. Scientists estimate that more than 11 million tons of plastic enter the ocean each year, and much of it is transported by the world's rivers, which act as conveyor belts for our waste. Agriculture, the very practice that feeds us, is also a major polluter. Modern farming relies heavily on fertilizers and pesticides to increase crop yields. When it rains, these chemicals are washed off the fields and into nearby streams and rivers. A prime example is the Mississippi River Basin in the United States. Agricultural runoff from a vast area flows into the river and eventually into the Gulf of Mexico, creating a massive dead zone. This is an area where the excess nutrients from fertilizers cause huge algae blooms that deplete the water of oxygen, making it impossible for marine life to survive. The water turns a sickly green, slimy and suffocating. Catastrophic oil spills, like the Deepwater Horizon disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, often capture global headlines, and for good reason. They cause immediate and widespread devastation. But smaller, chronic spills from local fishing boats and other vessels leaking fuel near coastlines also contribute significantly to the problem. Oil coats the feathers of birds, leaving them unable to fly or stay warm. It suffocates marine mammals like dolphins and seals and blocks precious sunlight from reaching underwater plants and coral reefs, disrupting the entire marine ecosystem. As cities grow, so does the problem of wastewater. In many parts of the world, including Vietnam, rapid urbanization has outpaced the development of proper infrastructure. Rivers like the Singti Luch in Ha Hanai and Sng Sejien in Ho Chi Minh City have become little more than open sewers. Old drainage systems, combined with a lack of adequate wastewater treatment facilities, mean that raw sewage and household waste flow directly into these vital waterways, turning them dark, foul-smelling, and hazardous. A less visible but equally dangerous source of pollution is toxic medical and pharmaceutical waste. When hospitals and households dispose of unused drugs improperly, chemicals and antibiotics enter our water systems. This leads to the alarming rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, creating a silent but profound threat to global public health. Let's take a tour of some of the world's most critical river case studies. The Ganges River, flowing through India and Bangladesh, is sacred to hundreds of millions of people. Yet, it is heavily polluted by a toxic mix of human ashes from religious ceremonies, untreated sewage, and industrial chemicals. It has been described as a holy river under a deadly curse. In China, the Yangtze River has become a plastic waste superhighway, transporting millions of tons of plastic into the ocean every year. Its shorelines are covered in plastic debris, and its banks are lined with factories that continue to pollute its waters. The Mekong River in Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, is the river of life for millions. But it is now struggling to breathe. The construction of massive hydropower dams, relentless sand mining, and widespread pollution are causing a dramatic decline in fish species and threatening the livelihoods of entire communities. Even the historic Nile River in Africa, the cradle of ancient civilizations, is now threatened by untreated wastewater and agricultural chemicals, endangering the very lifeline that has sustained cultures for millennia. The impacts of this crisis are felt across the entire planet. First and foremost is the devastating effect on human health. Every 90 seconds, a child dies from a disease caused by dirty water. This is a horrifying statistic. Images from hospitals in affected regions and of children drinking from muddy, contaminated sources paint a grim picture of this daily reality for billions. The pollution doesn't stop at the river's mouth. Rivers are the primary carriers of pollution to the sea, leading to an ocean and biodiversity collapse. We see coral reefs bleaching, turning into ghostly white skeletons. Entire fish species are disappearing at an alarming rate. Ocean dead zones, vast areas where nothing can live, are expanding each year as a direct result of the pollution flowing from our lands. The economic losses are also staggering. Fishing industries, which support millions of families, collapse when fish stocks are poisoned. Tourism disappears from once beautiful coastlines, and countries are forced to spend billions of dollars to clean up and fix a crisis that we created. It's a vicious cycle of environmental degradation and economic hardship. But there is still hope. We can still save our water. Solutions exist, but they require a concerted effort from everyone. Governments and companies must take the lead. They must enforce stricter wastewater treatment laws, invest in clean technologies, and, most importantly, stop dumping waste into our rivers. Communities also have a vital role to play. Simple actions like proper waste sorting and recycling can make a huge difference. Reducing our personal consumption of single-use plastics and joining local river cleanup movements are powerful ways to contribute. We must also work to restore nature's own filtration systems. Planting mangroves along coastlines, protecting wetlands that act as natural sponges, and actively working to revive river ecosystems are crucial steps. The planet knows how to heal itself if we just give it a chance. We can find inspiration in success stories from around the globe. The Thames River in London, once declared biologically dead, was revived after decades of dedicated pollution control. The Han River in South Korea has been transformed from a polluted channel into a clean, vibrant symbol of national pride. And right in Vietnam, the beaches of Ao Net have seen significant improvement thanks to strong community action and cleanup campaigns. These examples prove that rivers can come back to life when we fight for them. The final message is a call to action for you. Look at this. Clean, clear water flowing. It's a precious gift, but it is not infinite. Once it's gone forever. We have a shared responsibility to act now. Protect every river. Protect every drop. Protect our future. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that helps us understand and protect our planet.